Today on 21st Century Business, explore state-of-the-art technology, innovative business strategies, insights from cutting-edge corporations around the globe, a visionary look into the answers of tomorrow, today. Business leaders, business solutions, 21st Century Business.
Welcome to 21st Century Business. I'm Jackie Bales. Spend management refers to the way companies analyze and control the money they spend. Especially in a difficult economy, it's one way a company can dramatically impact their bottom line. But as our next guest tells us, not all spend analysis is the same. We're joined now by Brian Daniels, CEO of Spend Radar. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you, Jackie. It's a pleasure to be here.
Brian, first of all, why is spend management such a hot global topic?
Well, certainly with the recent economic downturn has really forced cost-cutting pressures on many organizations of all shapes and sizes. However, those of us that have been in the procurement world for quite some time have really seen this transformation happening over the past 10 to 15 years, where companies have really looked at their procurement groups and have sought to make them more strategic for quite some time. The recent economic downturn is really just putting a spotlight on what's been happening.
Right, you better focus on it now
Exactly.
or else. So what are the main challenges companies face when they try to analyze their spend data?
Well, the biggest challenge is the data itself. At a recent show, I was listening to a COO address 50 or so people talking about their spend analysis kickoff. And their CEO kind of echoed the sentiments of the executive team by simply stating, "We are tired of speaking from the Tower of Babel." And what he meant was they had incomplete data from which they were trying to make good, sound business decisions off of. That is the challenge, getting this data out of all of the systems into one place, cleaning it up and standardizing it.
So tell us who Spend Radar is and how Spend Radar helps companies handle those challenges.
Well, Spend Radar has brought to market a next-generation solution. Our organization is comprised of industry veterans that have been in and around the spend analysis field for quite some time, some of us 15 years or more. And over the years, the folks inside of Spend Radar have used just about every approach, every solution in the marketplace, and have ran into just about every challenge and obstacle you can imagine. We wanted to bring to market a solution that solved this global spend data challenge.
Fantastic. Well, to see how effective this analysis is, let's go to this 21st Century Business Field Report.
The biggest challenge our clients face with respect to spend analysis and spend management, they're similar. So let me start with spend management. Essentially, the executive team is trying to drive sustainable value. They want to have visibility to spend. They want to have visibility to operations. They want to have better control, better compliance. And actually, at the end of the day, they want savings to drop to the bottom line. And they want that to be more than just a one and done. They want it to be sustainable. That requires them to put an overarching framework around how are they going to strategically manage this function, this discipline. What's the governance? What's the operating model? What are the, how are we going to fundamentally drive organize our processes, what's the underlying technology, and then what's the change management strategy. So those are all things that you can't get to a sustainable program that drives savings without having a well-defined program. And typically clients will start with spend analysis because you can't boil the ocean. You need to think about where do I start, how do I get the organization aligned? The best way to get the organization aligned is with data, and their own data, probably in a way that they haven't seen it before.
You know, Brian, there are other systems available. Why build a spend management solution in a market that already has several options available?
You know, there's an old saying that says getting there first means everything. And certainly that's true if you're running a race, right? We all want to be number one. At Spend Radar, we believe that getting there best meant everything. And getting there best meant truly understanding what are the challenges in the marketplace, what are the obstacles that companies facing, what are the roadblocks, and delivering a solution to the market that's going to work for companies no matter where they're headquartered, no matter how many systems they're operating in, how many different languages or currencies they're doing business in.
So you operate with companies that aren't necessarily based in the United States then?
Yes, we do. As a U.S.-based company, we are working with companies that are headquartered outside of the U.S., that do not have a U.S. base of operations, that do not operate in English or operate in the U.S. dollar.
Now, what do you see as the biggest challenges to overcome? And how were you able to address those challenges when you developed your system?
Again, it really goes back to the data and really focusing on the data. The approaches that we had used in the past were all focused on the reporting, the analytics. Now, that's important, but if you're reporting on an incomplete or inaccurate set of data, it doesn't really matter how fancy, how slick the reporting tools are. So we focused on getting the data right. making sure that we could pull every transaction from every system and accurately classifying it into a category that makes sense for our customers.
And with regard to multinational companies, I mean, what concerns do they have when they're trying to manage their spend and reduce their costs? It's got to be enormous.
It is. I mean, once you get past the data hurdle of getting everything consolidated and cleansed, the challenges that multinationals face, certainly one is, as they're looking to identify and cut costs, is identifying and rationalizing suppliers. So maybe within a given area, we're using 1,000 suppliers. And we know if we trim that down to, let's say, 100, that we can negotiate and put better terms and rates in place. But now, as a multinational, I need to understand the global supply landscape. Before I decide to switch my business from supplier A to supplier B, I need to understand, is supplier B a viable choice? Will they be around next year? So you might have heard the term risk. It's also a hot topic in the marketplace. Spend analysis quickly becomes a risk topic as companies are looking to possibly switch spends from one supplier to the next.
And what do you see happening for Spend Radar itself, say over the next decade?
Over the next decade, we will certainly continue our global expansion, at the same time maintaining that spirit of innovation that brought Spend Radar to the market and has helped get Spend Radar to where it is today.
Well, I'm sure you've given every business owner, large or small, much to think about when it comes to controlling that spend. So thanks for sharing your ideas and your knowledge with us, Brian.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here today.
And thank you for watching. For 21st Century Business, I'm Jackie Bales.